Guys, I'm back. Let's see if we can. Okay. Hello, I'm back, guys. Okay. I sprayed some release on here. It's called mold release. Hold on. Folies. This is what you want when you go to do your release agent that you have to spray on here. I don't have a shirt on, guys, but I don't give a damn. It's too hot. It is 95 degrees out here. It does feel like we're about to get some rain now. So, it should be rather nice when I go. Okay. Getting my plaster bucket. Fill up some water. Get ready to mix some plaster up, guys. I'm mixing the plaster now. Right. Okay. First thing I forgot my chip brushes. Gotta go get some chip brushes. I'll show you that process, but I've already covered that a couple of times on how to mix plaster. Okay, I'm mixing plaster. I'm going to be a few minutes here, guys. Okay, there's two watching. Say hello. Okay, I guess you're not going to say hello. That's okay. All right. So we got some water here. Always add the plaster to water, never vice versa. Trying to clear a spot. Still feels like there's too much water. There we go. The first coat's a runny coat. I'm spreading this plaster into a bucket of water, about 16 ounces of water. That's about all. And you just kind of sift it into the water until you bring it up to saturation, which is about level with the water. And you want to create like lake bed cracking. Into your plaster. Then you know it's completely saturated. I want this thinner, this stuff. I want this batch very thin. Just gotta let it saturate. Now what do I do with my brush? There it is right there. It's so humid out here, I gotta keep that lid shut. My plaster. Ruin the plaster. Now let's clean your hands off. Soaking my burlap, that's the last, in the last couple of coats, that's when I do that. Okay, so. I mix my plaster by hand. I don't like mixing it with any kind of mixers or any of that stuff. You incorporate too many bubbles in it and then you got problems. Alright, that's nice and runny. That's going to pick up a lot of good detail. That's what you want. Now I'm kind of mixing it. It's completely saturated. I'm mixing it up real good now. One coat at a time. Now this is why I don't like using hydrocal. I don't like hydrocal. I know somebody sent me a video on how they use hydrocal on binning mold. I don't argue the point that that's a good way to make your mold, but you're going to find this way is a little bit better. And I like to layer my sculptures. Yeah, because you don't have to worry about it. UltraCal 30 sticks to itself. Hydrocal doesn't. So if you're working a little slower, you don't have to worry about your hydrocal, or you don't have to worry about your UltraCal curing and then not being able to stick. Hydrocal will not stick to itself. Once it dries, the hydrocal, I can't put another layer on it. And I don't do things that way. I do it a little bit at a time. I work slower. I get the details. And I really push it into the details first. And you can see as this hardens a little bit, it'll grab better. Bugs. Get into your corners real good. I get into all the details real good before I start worrying about see the little pockets of clay trying to shine through, and that's because I put the what do you call it on here? The release. The release is very important. If you don't have a good release on this, you're going to have a nightmare when it comes to so it'll grab eventually. It'll start to grab to the sculpture. And why I like that big deep well is because now anything you want it runny so it grabs the detail. Very important. Keep pulling up on it. See, I grab from the well, and as this starts to thicken, the plaster, it'll really grab to that wall real nicely. It's already starting to stick to it now. Which is, see? Oh man, I'm dying for a storm. I want a nice downpour. Some thunder and lightning. Oh, I love this new Lazy Susan that I have, if you want to call it that. I got carpenter bees. I got a nest right underneath my bench here. And they're all around me, but I don't really care. Like I said, I ain't afraid of nothing. Never have been, never will be. Now I can hear the thunder off in the distance. See, once I have a little bit of stone on the dividing wall, it'll start sticking to it, so I don't have to worry about it. Once the stone starts to harden a little bit, it sticks to clay real good. Nice thick base on this thing. Worry about thickening the walls once I have some more plaster up on this thing. First coat your detail. Grabs all your details so your plaster has to be nice and runny. Why I like my method is because once this is hard in the back of the head, I can lay it down horizontally. And I can really make a nice molding. I'll be able to get that detail on the face real good and not have to worry about the chin line. I covered that nice. Make sure there's no bubbles in your sculpture. Very important. Now it's starting to stick to the walls of the perfect. I'm going to take these glasses off. Don't need them. Come on, green. It is too hot. Now you see what the well's for. You just pull up on your sculpture. And the excess runs down, the well catches. It's so runny. I like it nice and runny like this to get it up onto the walls. You just take this and you just oh yeah, I can do that thunder, man. Come on, baby. As it stiffens up, always remember to stir the bottom of your pot too, of your bucket of plaster, because that starts to settle and it'll thicken up on you. And that's what you don't want. Not when you're getting your first layer has to be thin to grab all the detail of your sculpture. Now, those of you who didn't really get it, once this hardens, then they'll have that clay wall right there. It'll be nice and thick, and I'll take these pieces of stuff off, and I'll be able to remove the clay. Then I put the clay back on the front neck. Now, the plaster's starting to thicken a little bit, which is good. It's starting to thicken and it's going to grab to itself a lot better and it won't sag as much. The only detail on the back of the head is where the logo is. And I want that logo to be nice. It's curing a little quicker today too. That's good. Oh yeah, come on, thunder. I hear you. Bring it on, baby. I'm under a porch, I'm good. If I were to get some high winds, that'll be The next layer will be thicker. The plaster will be mixed thicker. You guys are going to go through a thunderstorm with me. Ain't that cool? It's hot. I'll tell you that. It's still hot out here, regardless of the thunderstorm. What I'm trying to do is thicken up this wall. I'm probably going to make it thick up to this point, right about here. Real thick. Almost as thick as the sculpture out of the build. The stuff I'm putting on the head. Make sure you don't have any air pockets. That'll make the strength of your motor a lot weaker. Thickening that right on that wall. Wow, man, that started kicking fast. Hold on. Okay, I gotta clean this bucket. Start making the next batch. Woo, that kicked fast. The humidity. Started to kick, it was going. In the bucket. And I gotta add some new water to it. See, that burlap I have in here helps me clean the bucket when it starts to stiffen up. Try it some fresh cool water. The colder the water, the longer you have more time to work with the plaster. Let me get the plaster in there, and I can read your comments. This will be a little thicker, this plaster. Soaked. Looks like it's clearing up out there in the west. There's going to be a thick coat on here this time. I'm going to let that saturate. Man, it's hot. Yep, fire whistles. Yeah, we'll get it by the end of the day. I don't doubt it. We ain't been hit yet. Although I'm seeing kind of clear skies in the west right now. That ain't good, man. I thought we were going to get a nice thunderstorm, but it looks like it's missing us again. All right. Let me just see if there's any comments. I'm not going to move the phone. Yeah, I got that off. Was it you that was trying to send me a picture? It's not too late. I can't find the picture. I don't know where you sent the picture. Send it to my messenger. That's the best way to do it. Somebody, I'm trying to remember who it was on here. Caroline Kiwi Creations. I don't like Hydrocal. I use UltraCal 30 because you can layer UltraCal 30. You don't have to worry about Hydrocal, you have to do it all in one shot. And that is not what I like to do. Because especially with the master mold I make very thick. Let's see, that's Carolina Kiwi Creations. Yes, I do the backside vertical, and then when I go to do the face, I lay it back on top on its stone back, and it cradles the sculpture perfectly, so you don't have to worry about the bottom of the sculpture getting messed up. Yes, I don't use Hydrocal. I do not like it at all. I'm an UltraCal only. This is UltraCal 30 that I'm using right now. UltraCal you can layer. Right now, let me see, who else? Random. There's an insect on it. Saw that. Got that off of there. What's your Facebook name? Facebook name is John Hickman, Hickman. In parentheses, DJ Styles with 2 Y's. It's DJ, D as in dog, J as in jump. Styles, Styyyles, at Verizon, or no, that's my email. You don't want that. DJ Styles in parentheses. It's John Hickman, JOHN, HICKMAN, in parentheses, DJ Styles, and you'll find me. Sounds good, Carolina Kiwi Creations. So we will chat for sure. So what I want to do is I'm waiting for the stuff to saturate, which is probably there right now. This is going to be thicker, this stuff. I used the cold 50-degree water right out of the hose, right out of the spigot, because even the bucket water that I have set up that I filled earlier, it's already friggin' warm. And I don't want warm water because that makes the stone kick faster. You don't want that. I mix this stuff by hand. Oh boy, I hope I clean my brush. That'll really be a mess. Pretty sure I did. Yeah, I know I did. Scraping the sides. This is a little thicker. Not a lot thicker, it's just a little thicker. I go over here, clean my hands and grab my brush. Yep, that's where I put it, right over there. Oy, oy, oy. Just keep piling it on. So you can layer this stuff. You can't do this with Hydrocal. Remember that, especially if you're new to the business. You definitely don't want to attempt Hydrocal yet. Save that for the pros. I actually like UltraCal better anyway because it actually is a harder stone too, I believe. Make sure you fill any air pockets. No air pockets. As this kicks like this did when it got real hard and stiff, I'm going to fill in these sides real good. where the two stones, the old layer and the new layer goes together, you want to make sure that you don't have any air pockets in there, because that will destroy the integrity of your mold. I don't care how pretty it looks. I'm in pain right now, standing all this length of time. I got a very bad back. So I'm doing this quick as possible. I like my master mold to be at least 1.5 inches thick to 2 inches. Now I'm just concentrating on the head itself. Now I'll put the register keys on the other side and the pry stuff when I do the what do you call it tomorrow. I think I'm going to do it tomorrow. I don't actually have to. I'll take these things out of the mold, but I don't want to. I'm not going to do the other half tonight. I'm too damn tired. I'm going to do this back half tonight. And because these, I don't want them sticking together anyway, it's okay, because if you let this stuff cure too long, then you can't stick the molds together, or you can't, the plaster won't stick to itself. But it's not cured. It's still got a lot of moisture in it, so it stays nice and thick. Hello. Listen to that, guys. We're trying to get a storm brewing here. That was a long rumbling one. Especially the back of the neck, you want it really thick in this area, because it'll give it more support. Yeah, this is going to kick fast too, I know it. I hope. This next layer gets burlap on it.
What?
The next layer gets burlap. Streaming?
Yeah. Can I send you pictures?
Who was it that asked that?
Take our vision?
Yeah, you gotta send them on
Messenger?
Messenger. That's the best way to do it. I looked everywhere. I couldn't find your pictures anywhere. I didn't see it in email. I didn't see anything. So I don't know where you could have sent them. And they're not on your YouTube page. I looked at that. Not that I didn't make an effort, guy. I did. Partially the reason I was taking so long getting back on is because my phone was dead. The battery was dead, so I had to charge the phone back up a little bit more. And, Messenger's it. That's the best way to send the pictures to me. Become a friend on Facebook and send the messenger. Send it through Messenger. You know, if you're an artist and you're doing this stuff, you should have even if you don't do any socializing on Facebook, use it as a tool for your work. My name on Facebook is John Hickman, and in parentheses, DJ Styles with 2 Y's. That's D as in dog, J as in jump, Styles, STYYLES, at Verizon, or I'm going to say my email address. You can do that too. No, that's the wrong account.
Don't you have all your information in the details of the bottom of the video here?
I don't know.
I think we put that in there.
I hope so. Because this is a pain in the neck.
Joe Reese says, I still mix green dental dye stone in with my UltraCal 30. Strengthens UltraCal.
Really? I didn't know that. That's
30.
something new. I like that.
30% more. I hear that the thunder sounds great.
Don't it? I love it.
Yeah, that's one thing with the
Oh, feel that breeze. Oh,
recording with the phone. You pick up all the audio real nice, especially the ambient stuff.
Perfect. We're making a Michael Myers mold. And we got thunder in the background. Don't get no better than that, does it, guys? You've got mold making and sensor round.
What did you say?
Sensor round. If you're old enough, you'll know what that is. But I'm 60, and I'm sure I'm probably I'm older than everybody online. Sensor round is a type of audio that they created specifically for an old movie called Earthquake. And they put it in the theaters, and they had these huge speakers. And it was in quadrasonic is what they really used. And they had the speakers all over the entire theater. This was a big theater. And when that started rumbling, man, you were shaking in your seat. And I mean literally shaking. It hurt your ears. They actually stopped it. They never did it again because it did cause some ear damage to older people. So, and that's what they called it though. They called it sensor round. That was the audio that they called it. Pretty interesting, huh? There you go. You got a lesson in real history. I had to go there. Yep. Anything else being said?
No, nobody else saying anything.
Kind of just chillaxing with me. Alright, so I'm going to wait for this to stiffen up just a little bit more. I want to use what's left in this bucket for these corners right here on both sides of the ear.
Pretty damn cool.
Huh?
Pretty damn cool, man.
It's cool. I wish it was cooler. Because it is hot. Oh, God, hold over my face. Alright, let me wash this brush out so it can stiffen up. And by that I should have a couple of hard pieces of plaster. Alright, we should have some plaster to put in there now. Let's do the other side. Alright, I gotta clean the bucket again. The reason why you have to make this really thick is because when you pry this apart, if those dividing walls are too thin, the plaster is going to break. Alright, this should be the I'm gonna sit down, Rick, before I Need this cold. Need this water cold. There it is. Now, I'm going to take a handful of these burlap chunks. Should be enough to do the back. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to answer some questions before I even mix plaster. Boy, I hope that comes off. That would suck. Okay. Yeah, I can feel that kicking, man. That's hot. Plaster's hot when it gets kicking. I'm going to sit down for a minute though before I. Okay, let me read your comments. I'll take the phone off. Oh, oh Jesus. Yeah, since I'm going to wait till tomorrow anyway to mold the other half, what I'll do is I'll come on, rain, give me some relief. I'll look at your pictures that you send. Green dental dye stone. Yeah, where can you buy that, Joe? Wow, I'd like to get that myself. I really would. I'll look it up. And I'll also talk to my. I actually go see my dentist this week, get a cleaning, and I'll see what they say. And I know they have it. So, and how much do you add to, like, say, 16 ounces of water, or 24 ounces of water? Like, say, a quarter bucket. You see this bucket here? I only fill about that much water. Actually, the top of my fingernails, that's where the water line is about. Top of my fingernail. That's very little water in there. I do it a little at a time. And actually, there's more water in there this time. But that's because this is the layer that I'm going to put the what do you call it, in there? The burlap. Once I mix some plaster up. So, fill us in, Joe. Carolyn, green dental dye stone. Where can you buy that, Joe? All right, Takeoff Vision. Sent you a Facebook message. Thank you, sir. I will definitely go to that as soon as I get off of here. We will go to Facebook, add you as a friend, Takeoff Vision, and then you can send me your pictures right through Messenger. And sometimes the email, when you send pictures through email, I get them sometimes and sometimes I don't, because sometimes the files are too big. If they're high definition, if they're like if I put 4K pictures on there, you ain't going to get those pictures. Vice versa. You can use Messenger. You use Messenger through Facebook. That's the only way. Unless you can't post them on my wall. What you can do is post the pictures on your wall, and I'll look at your wall. I don't let people post on my wall. I had problems with political crap. I'm trying to stay away from politics anymore. It just doesn't. It's not worth it. They'll shut you down for being political. So why bother? You said Hydrocal. Yep. No, I don't use Hydrocal. I use UltraCal 30. That's the only stuff I like to use. Take off. Hey, I didn't get the email. You know, I'm going to give you guys my email too right now. All right, now it's a little different. It's gmail.com, so you know that part. It's gmail.com. It's DJ Styles with 3 Ys. DJ, D as in dog, J as in jump, STYYYLES at gmail.com. That's the account. That's what I use for my business account. So that's the best way to, do any kind of like contact me if you want a mask, something like that. That's the best way to do it. I think I'm settling in at a price of about 300 for my masks. That's what I'm going to sell them for. eBay, that's a whole nother animal, but I think my masks are going to be about 300. So painted, haired, all that good stuff. As a matter of fact, I got new hair coming. Can't wait. That hair is going to be awesome on this mask, on these masks. So I can't wait to get this mask done, get this in production. I'm actually going to Monster Vision on Saturday the 13th. If you guys are local, try to go. It's at Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Monster Mania. I'm sorry, not Monster Vision. Monster Mania. I'm going to go there, and my son's going to go with me. I think I got half the family coming, so we're going to go meet some people. Dick Warlock, who in Halloween 2, is going to be there, along with Leo Rossi, who was Bud in Halloween 2, the 1981 version, and also Jimmy, Lance Guest. He's going to be there, and there's a couple other people, and I can't remember their names. I feel bad. I can't remember their names. I usually do. I think Karen, was that her name? I think she's going to be there too, from Halloween 2. There's quite a few people going to be there from Halloween 2. What I've decided to do is try and get this made as fast as possible and have Dick Warlock actually sign it. I'm going to have him sign it. I got to make masks for my kids too, because they all want a mask for them to sign too. They're big fans of Halloween as well. So I'm going to be busy, not so much selling the mask, but I got to make at least, let me see, me, my brother, let's see, Kyle and Angela. That's 4 people I got to make the mask for. I got to make 4 masks, and I got to get them done by the 13th of August. Good luck, as they say, right? So Carolina, cool. Carolina Kiwi Creations. I can't wait till this guy's done. This is going to be a nice mask. Yes, I do. I put on my master molds, I always use burlap. Once I make a one-piece mold, that's this one here, and I have this one here. This is a one-piece mold here that's in here. Now that came from the latex cast. I casted a latex mask in the master mold, foam filled it, let it shrink. All right, because this is the large mask. This master mold will only make the large mask. Then what I did was take the latex foam filled mask out of the master mold. It shrank up 2 inches. And then I made another mold, but it was a one-piece mold right here. I don't put any kind of burlap on that. I just let that, it's pretty hard. And what I do is I keep it covered so the bugs don't get in there. They still do anyway, but not as many. But yeah, that's from the latex mask, and it shrinks it down even more. So this size will make a 27.5 inch mask, and that's for somebody really big, like my brother. He's 6'6", and he's a big boy. He's not fat, but he's perfect Michael Myers. Scary Michael Myers because he's so big. And he has the whole outfit, so we're gonna do that. So what we're gonna do is, okay. So now I make that from the latex pull. This will actually be 4 inches smaller after I make a mask in that mold than the actual 5.5 inch mask. That's how I have two sizes. One for somebody that's really big, and two, a normal size mask. It's not real small. It's not 25 and a half is not a real small mask either. I think that a real small mask is 24 inches. That's tight. That's tight on me. So, all right, guys, let's get back to plastering with the burlap and get this done. And then I'll do a smooth coat on top of that to smooth it out even more. And from there, we'll be able to, hopefully we can do some. I'm tired. I'm tired. That's why I'm not doing that front half tonight. But it feels like it's cooling down out here, which is good because then I don't have to worry about the mask melting. Anyway, let me put this back onto the stand and start mixing up some mud, some Ultra Cal 30, and use the burlap on it, and then put a finishing coat on there to give it a nice smooth look. And then I'll throw a trash bag over the whole thing. Yeah, I don't know if I'll do that. I may not do that. I might not do that. I'll just have to spray that clay, that's all. It'll stiffen up. I'm getting rid of that clay anyway, the wet clay. I don't keep that clay, I throw it away. So I'll make another front base, get rid of that wet clay, and yeah, I don't have to worry about that. That's not going to harden overnight, not that hard anyway. I'll soak it real good before I go and leave it for the night. But let's get this burlap going. Let's get it done. I didn't put any stone in there, just in case you're thinking I did. I didn't. I tighten the spoon down. There we go. All right. I don't like putting my fat butt in the camera. You don't see me. I'm half naked. I got shorts on. I'm not proud. I'm old. I can be fat if I want. I can be anything I want at this age. I got nothing to prove. Nobody to prove it to. Mixing the plaster. Actually adding plaster to water. Okay. Gotta let this saturate. That's gonna saturate pretty quick because it's actually a pretty runny coat. It's a pretty runny coat. All right. I got my burlap over here. And since I'm working on this side, I keep my burlap right there on Man, don't get old, guys. It ain't no picnic. Okay, this is good enough. Mix it up, baby. I like using my hand, scrape the side down real quick around the bucket. I'm gonna mix this stuff because I want to get all those clumps out of there. You don't want any clumpy plaster. What I do is I go in there and I just kind of rotate my hand. And mix it until I don't feel any clumps. And now, the first thing I got to do is just take my hand and wet this with an outer layer of plaster. Just take it and rub it in there. What that does is it gives that burlap something to grab to. Alright, that's it. I can't mess around here because it's kicking so quick, this stuff. So we're just going to take a little bit of burlap. Let's go around the edge first. I'll have to show you how I cut my burlap so it's quick for you, so you don't have to spend hours cutting burlap. Come on, man, really? First thing I do is do all the edges, all the way around, the base and all. The reason why I do that is because I want to I'm still going to fill this in a little more. Make sure you don't have any air pockets, because that'll weaken your mold big time. That's why I usually saturate my burlap real good. There's two pieces, not one. Wants to rotate away from me every time I push on it. This thing's built for this. Come on, stay still. Frustrating. not very thick in here. I'm going to make it very thick on that once I get to the next batch. And once I get to the next batch, now people would say, "Oh, that's an awful thick mold." This mold's really got to hold up because I got to make a master copy out of urethane in this particular mold, and that's a whole nother process. That I have to do, and that mold's got to be strong. Got to be thick, and this has got to withstand the prying. When I go to pry this apart, stay still. The other one. Almost through this patch of burlap. I have to cut more of this tomorrow. I'm just kind of rubbing it in to soften it. Making sure there's no air pockets. All right, now back to my I'll thicken up the ears right now. you got to remember now, the head's back here. So this is pretty thick right into that spot, but I'm going to make sure it stays nice and thick. I use a lot of plaster on my master molds, I do. I know that. I like thin molds, period. I really don't, because what does a mold do? It absorbs moisture. And the more moisture it absorbs, the weaker the mold gets. So make a thicker mold last you a little longer. Trying to put it into the areas that have to be thicker. When you go to pry it apart, you got to have a really thick wall to really bang on. We're just going to work right on the wall. This is all we're trying to do now, is the wall. I'm not trying to go over up to the top of this. I'm only trying to go to the base of this. I'm kind of lucky because I have a local guy that carries the Ultra Cal for me. I don't have to have it shipped. I can pick it up. And believe me, if you can find it local, shipping's a brutal right now. So do yourself a favor and try to stay local. I'm a local shopper anyway. I really try to find everything I can in a local. All right, so I won't need a finishing coat. This is it right here. I won't need any more. I'll show you what I'm going to do. As it stiffens up. It's asleep. All right. All right, let's go clean this bucket first. And my brush. Need it for tomorrow. My foot's completely asleep. Get the chunks out. Okay. Next thing I want to do is take this burlap out of here. Resaturate tomorrow. I'm going to dump this bucket in here. Okay. Set up for tomorrow. Brush is clean, bucket's clean, both buckets are cleaned. And now, hopefully this is set up enough. Yeah. I can smooth it out just a little bit. I let it sit too long. Oh well. All right, give me for instance, when you see the clay wall, you see how thick that clay wall is now? You see how high up on that ridge it is? See this part right here? See, that's the top of the head. Look how thick that is on the back of the head. That's what you want. You want it real thick. Because when you go to take this apart, you're going to have to hammer that off. When I take these registers, or when I take the dividing pieces off along with the clay, that's going to give me a nice dividing wall. And then I do the front half. And I do that tomorrow. So, normal. Oh, I put the bubble. There you go, guys. I put the bubble in the sculpture. So you should be happy now. I guess we're not going to get any rain. Now tomorrow, I take off these pieces along with the clay, and then that'll give me my wall, and then I'll grind that down a little bit so it's more squared off. And then I'll put some clay register keys on the stone, all right? And that's so you can pry it apart. And I might make a noodle so it fits on there really nice. We'll see. We'll see how I do it. We'll have to wait and see how that process takes place. But that's pretty much it. I don't really care because, you know, when I get done making the urethane master copy from this mold, that mold's no longer any good. So it don't matter how pretty the mold is, or, you know, you don't want to spend a lot of time making a mold real pretty when you're only going to destroy it anyway. So some people like to spend the extra 20 minutes to an hour to make it a really, really nice dividing wall. Or I want to say the plaster itself is real smooth. And I did that with these. I smoothed out these real nice because they're the ones I use to make the mask. When I make the master copy, I get rid of that master. Once I make the master copy from urethane, the yellow urethane that was in my room, then that damages this mold. So it's no good. You can't use it for latex anymore. So I don't care. Now my thought is, why waste a lot of time making it real pretty when you're going to destroy that mold anyway? After like one rubber latex mask out of it and then foam fill it, then I make a urethane rubber copy of it, and that process destroys the mold. So you get one mask out of this master copy, and that's only to make a master latex copy, foam filled. So this way you have your small mask. And once I make my master copy of my large mask from this mold, the urethane doesn't shrink like latex. Latex will shrink up to 2 inches, depending on how thick the mask is. I don't like making my master copies thin, so I make them very thick. So it'll shrink up to 2 inches, which is perfect because it brings me into 25.5 inches. It'll make a 25.5 inch mold. Now the master copy out of urethane doesn't shrink. Urethane doesn't shrink like latex does. So you make a master copy urethane of it, then you can use that to make a large master copy, a one-piece master copy. So I can make like this one right here. You see that mold that's laying up on the side right there? Well, I'm going to build benches underneath of this as soon as I get rid of this thing. I'm going to build benches so I can hold the molds on there. Anyway, that is a large copy. That's so I make a large mask like my brother's, but it's the old version. So I'm looking forward to getting this guy done. This is going to be a nice mask. I can't wait, man. This is really going to be nice. So, and let me read your comments now, see what's going on. Joe Reese. Okay, Joe Reese doesn't want to release his little secret. Okay, that's no problem because I can find out. I know I can find out where to get it. And I won't share it if he's not going to share the info. It's not really. You already let the cat out of the bag using the green dental dye stone with UltraCal 30. Strengthens it. So why not just let us know where you get it and how much is the stuff? How much do you use how much do you add to the per pound, should I say, or per ounce? I don't know. However you're adding it. How much do you add to your UltraCal? You know, it's research. That's all. So anyway, guys, let's see. That's the end of this for today. Tomorrow's another day. Welcome back. There is an insect on it. Yes, we saw that. I just want to make sure I didn't miss somebody's text. I've never done a stone mold standing up. I lay mine down. I know that's what I do that once that hardens on the back of the head. Then this gets laid down and then it captures all the detail. I don't have to worry about the chin gets up, because if you do this vertically and you try to make that stone stick under the chin, it can be done, but boy, it sucks trying to really get that to, hold its detail. Believe me, when I make these molds and they're one piece, I have to make that stone stick up underneath that chin. And there's been times where I had to fix the mold because it had a hole in it. There was a sagging spot on the chin, and it created a little hole, and I had to fill it from the inside of the sculpture, the inside of the mold, I'm sorry, and try to do it by feel. And what happens is it may not be perfectly, smoothed out to the surface of your mold. So then what you have to do is, once you make a latex master copy, you have to, I use a Dremel tool with a felt pad for my Dremel, and I'll smooth out the latex so it takes care of the defect. So I use the same type of felt pad as you do when you erase the seams on your sculpture. So anyway, this is pretty awesome. I can't wait to get this guy done. The lips right on the money. It looks good. I think I'm going to make sure this isn't facing the road. I'm going to turn it around so it's facing the yard, so nobody sees the sculpture, and because I want to leave it out here overnight. Yeah, it's cooling down out here nicely. Thank God. It was so hot. It was brutal. And then tomorrow, I'll be taking off these. You know what? I might take that off now. I just got to let it cure for a little bit longer. Got to let it cure just a little bit longer, because it'll be easier to get off now than if it was on there tomorrow. Now I've already got more clay over there, so I don't have to use the clay for the neck. I'll wait about 10-15 minutes, and then I'm going to take off the flashing. And then tomorrow I can concentrate on fixing the seam, the little flashing indentation that goes all the way around, because I embedded it into the sculpture. I just think it's an easier way to make a really good dividing wall. Less time, less money on wet clay. Okay, do you put a burlap? Yes, did that. Layer, sorry. Hey, you didn't get the email. Takeoff vision, yes. No, I didn't get the email. That's the thing. And where did you send the email? That's the thing. Did you send it to DJ Styles with 3 Y's at gmail.com? Takeoff vision. Okay, James, gotcha. Carolina Kiwi. It almost sounds like, because it's Carolina, I'm thinking it's a girl's, it's a girl that's on there, so there's no way to know. So, hello, James. I'll remember that for next time. I'll try to. Terrible with names. Anyway, yes, and you can even put your pics on your Facebook wall, and I can look at them there, or you can send them through Messenger. Still mixed green dental dye stone. 30. I hear that thunder. Sounds great. Yeah, it stopped. Casey Love was talking about how he adds dental. Now that's nice to know. It really is. Thank you for letting us know that, because that's if you can make your mold harder. But here's a question for you. Who was it? Wait a minute. Let me look. Joe Reese. Does it change the absorption rate on your mold? Does it make it absorb the moisture more, or does it make it slower? Does it slow down the time? Like, in other words, if I put a mask in there and I dwell cast it, will the latex have to sit in the mold longer for it to dry? That's the question. With using the dental dye stone. So that is the question. Yes, sir. I'll look it up. Hey, Roberts. Yo, watch this video from where I linked. Guys, I'm going to bounce off of here. And thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe. And yeah, I'll just take these things out of there, and then I'll show you that what it looks like tomorrow. Yeah, no. All right, guys. Let me bounce off of here. Thank you so much for joining my stream. This is part 2 of how to mold a Michael Myers Night Creeper 78 by Custom Corpses. And I'm DJ Styles, and you guys have a great day. Peace. See ya.